Welcome to My Otome, where we talk about Japanese dating simulations and visual novels. I'm Teionnah.
I'm Elizabeth.
And today we're still talking about Kissed by the Baddest Bidder. And today we're going into the route of Soryu, who's the mobster. Yay! Yes, lovely.
We love our mobster, I guess.
So, you don't need to know the prologue. We already been through the prologue. That's long enough.
Yep.
And in chapter 1, you end up choosing Soryu because you think he'll let you go after he let you go when you were in the basement. Yeah, that's the reason why you picked him. You thought he would let you go. So,
We're just not very...
Yeah, MC, dumb.
Very
Ota
much
and
so.
Baba are surprised that you picked Soryu, and Soryu kind of just tells you to do whatever you want and then leave. Yeah.
Okay.
Baba's in the background like, he's just shy. He's just shy because you're a girl. And, so Isaac starts making jokes about if you don't hurry up and leave, he'll sell you again. So you run after Soryu just so he doesn't sell you.
I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do, I guess.
Yeah, you're worried, man. And so, also, you're only saved because you need to be useful. They're trying to find something useful for you in order for you to stay alive. Well, not stay alive, but not get sold.
I was about to say, when did the murder aspect come into it?
Well, the murder aspect does come in.
Yay. Oh, I love a good murder.
We always have a murder aspect somewhere in here.
Yes,
but
we love a good murder.
When you go into the room, Soryu takes off his shirt, walks up to you, and then passes you and tells you not to get weird ideas.
Dang.
Because you're over here like, why is he taking off his shirt? Why is he walking up to me? What's going on here?
Well, to be fair, you're in his room.
Yeah, he just goes and takes a shower, and when you hear the door close, you start running to the door to get out.
Why did you go in then? Okay.
Yeah, but as soon as you start turning the doorknob, you feel water droplets fall on your cheek, and then you turn around, Sora's there at a towel around his waist, and he tells you to be good or he'll erase you. So basically, that's just their way of saying, be good or I'll kill you.
Yeah, I'm here for it.
Ironically, they mention the word kill a lot more later on, but at the same time, they won't say kill within the first chapter. Maybe because it's the first 3 chapters.
Maybe.
So then Sora tells you that you're gonna earn back the 20 million that he paid for you, and don't tell anyone about this or you'll die. He'll also kill your friends and your family. And then Ota and Isaac bust into the room.
Okay.
Yeah. Everyone thinks Sora was trying to hit on you, but then he tells everybody else that no, he was just pretending to go into the shower so he could catch you trying to run away.
Dang.
Yeah, he played you. And then
Dang. And
everybody starts questioning why he was shirtless though, so they start thinking he's a perv. And then Sora pulls a gun on Baba for starting this whole thing.
Dang.
Right out the gate, we're pulling guns on people.
I mean, a man's gotta do what a man's gotta do, I guess.
Yeah, Isaac's surprised that Sora had a gun behind the chair. And I mean,
Behind
that man, yeah, it's behind the chair. He just pulls that gun out to say shut up to all of them.
Wow.
That is his way of telling the group. I don't know why I said you guys, but telling the group of guys to shut up.
Wow.
Yeah. So, since you're basically stuck living with this man, and this man doesn't want anything to do with you, Baba gives you the tour of the place. Of course, he hits on you while he's giving you the tour.
Of course, it's Baba.
Yeah, and then Isaac and Mamoru just kind of refuse to introduce themselves to you, which, is weird, because you're living in the same place. You're living in the penthouse with them. Why wouldn't you want to... Ooh, what the hell? Why wouldn't you want to introduce yourself? But, alright.
Exactly. You're gonna be in close quarters with one another.
Ota and Baba straight up tell you that Isaac owns the hotel because you're still dumb, and
Of course.
You still don't understand. Yeah. But you're still confused and worried about work, even though the owner is literally right there.
The owner literally just bought you. And you're over here like, I need to work.
Yeah, it always bothers me because I'm like, why are you thinking about work when the owner of the hotel where you work just bought you?
Yeah, I'm sorry. If I was just purchased from a bird cage, my last concern would be work.
Yeah.
I would not be sitting there like, I need to make it to my 4 p.m. shift.
No, for real. Because I can't stand it.
Yeah, no, it's terrible.
It's so unrealistic in my opinion, but whatever.
Yeah.
So you leave the lounge and you go to Soryu and you ask him if you can go to work. And so the manager comes up, give you your key and pager. You're confused because you didn't know the manager. You never know that the manager is involved in this shit.
He has to be. He's the manager. Okay.
Yeah. And then Sora reminds you to tell no one, but you're allowed to go to work.
Girl.
And so you start trying to go back to your dormitory because you think that you're like free. You're not really free. I don't know what you thought this was, but
Yeah, they literally only said, oh, you get to go to work. That doesn't mean you get to go back to your dorm and just act like nothing happened.
yeah, you start freaking out because Soryu says you have to stay in a suite. Oh god, those S's, all those S's. You think you're gonna stay in the same room as Soryu, but he's like, I'm going in the back room, deuces, and you have your own bedroom and bathroom too.
Oh,
Yeah, I could never understand why she's like so upset to be staying with them. I mean, you're getting provided a bed and bathroom in the penthouse suite.
literally. You're literally getting princess treatment by being
I
bought.
guess
Maybe not by the men, you're not treatment, but like not everyone gets a whole bedroom to themselves and bathroom to themselves.
like, I understand the whole, yeah, you were sold to them part, but at the same time, not only that, you get to engage in all the perks that they give you.
Are you serious?
Yeah, because they'll just start buying her shit and be like, hey, you want to go on a trip with us to, like, Cancun or something?
Oh my gosh.
We own you, so let's take you to Cancun.
I'd go in a heartbeat. I'd be like,
Yeah,
you know what? Buy me. Buy me instead.
That's why it's like I can't understand this story. I mean, like, good on you for like having morals, but my morals are gone.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. If someone bought me and then wasn't looking for anything disgusting, like literally just wanted to take me and randomly buy me things, hell yeah! I don't have to pay for a single thing for the rest of my life. I'm down.
I mean, when Baba buys you, like, the only thing he wants you to do is assist him in, like, being an international thief. Which, I mean, that's illegal and moral constraints are in there, but you're going on international trips.
Exactly. Screw morals. I'm gonna go see the Eiffel Tower.
Exactly. But anyways, the next morning you think Soryu has bugged your room because, like, leaving work was too easy, apparently.
So now you're smart? You go from thinking you're free because they let you go to work to being like, he bugged my room. I just know it. What?
Oh, yeah. So, Sakio? I don't know how to say her name. I usually forget that you have friends in these stories, but yeah, your friend thinks you fell in love at first sight at the little party thing because you never showed back up at the dorms. Yeah, your friends are actually involved in the storyline and it's like the only storyline you actually have friends that care about you.
Yeah, but they sound just as dumb as you.
Yeah.
Like, they're like, you completely went missing at the party where we were all drinking, and it was very dangerous for us to stray away from one another.
You were working. You go missing while you guys were all working. Because the party goes on while you're working your shift. And she saw you at the party.
So she's sitting there and she's like, okay, we have this amount of staff. My bestie is working this party with me. Awesome. Oops, my bestie disappeared while she's supposed to be working. I'm not mad that she's gone. She fell in love. What
I
the
don't
heck?
understand it either because I'm just here like, what is wrong with you?
So much.
So Erica's going on a power trip because you had disappeared and she's like mad at you. And Soryu ends up paging you. So you have to leave in the middle of that power trip. We hate Erica. She's always a problem.
I'm always here for hate.
So this is like the moment where you realize like Soryu hates women, but at this moment Baba has they have the random woman up here and they're all siding with Isaac because Baba can't win for shit.
Sounds about right.
And one of the rich women start flirting with Soryu, but he's like, you stink, like literally.
Dang!
Yeah. So then, in like his point of view, Ryosuke, who is one of Soryu's men in the mafia, he's someone who's gonna show up a lot in a story.
Okay.
That man never leaves you alone. God. So.
You sound so fed up.
I am. That man goes on dates with you and Soryu.
Oh.
Yeah, because he's supposed to be Soryu's bodyguard, quote unquote.
Why do you have a bodyguard if you're...
Yeah. So Ryosuke was supposed to take care of this girl, Mei Ling, because she's like a part of this other mafia from Hong Kong that Soryu wants ties with. So
Okay.
The night after buying you, Baba and Ota forced Soryu to drink with some rich woman, which this is like what is happening when you come in after they paid you. And then Mamoru eggs him on and says, Mamoru eggs him on because he's like, you don't want to stay because you don't know how to deal with women. And Soryu ends up staying because, yeah, he's prideful. And you find out that Soryu hates Mamoru because he thinks Mamoru is lazy and unmotivated.
Is that the detective?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, and the
Wow.
lady that's like sliding up to Soryu, he went to the IVC, the party with her one time, and he doesn't even remember who she is.
Wow.
And also, while this conversation is happening, Ota offers to take you from Soryu, since Soryu thinks you're a pain in the butt, but he realizes he can make you take care of Mei instead of having Ryosuke take care of Mei.
Take care of as in kill?
No, babies. As if you're gonna kill someone else.
Yeah, no, that's why I was confused.
No, babysit.
I was like, you don't even like being kissed on the forehead. Why the hell?
Yeah.
You
So in chapter 2, you trip on a bottle, and that ends up announcing your presence to everybody. Yeah.
Okay.
And like, since Soryu sees you, he's like, "Let's go." He takes you to his room.
Ooh.
And he starts reading.
I don't know why I expected anything.
But, I mean, like, before you got taken and was dragged off to his room, you were reluctant to go, so Baba started teasing him and was like, "Your women don't like you."
Dang.
Reminder, Baba is 35 years old.
I forgot. He acts so much younger.
Yes, he does. I mean, like, every time he's teasing someone, I'm just here like, "You're 35. You're the oldest person here."
I have to remind myself that he's 35 because, like, it truly honestly slips my mind. Like, I'm just here like, yeah, okay, he's immature, normal behavior for like a 20-some-year-old. And then I'm like, wait a minute, something's not adding up.
While you're also in the room with Soryu, he gives you a dress and he gives you a book with the list of items for the auction, and he tells you that you're gonna be the stage girl for the next auction.
That's interesting.
Yeah. He's like, "This is your job now, at least for this auction."
Okay.
And Soryu just used your presence to get out of like hanging out with all the women in the lounge. And he says his reasoning is because he hates perfume and the strange women that Baba brings.
Dang.
Yeah.
I mean, at least he tells it honest.
Yeah, at least he's honest about like what he hates.
Yeah.
So now you're an accomplice to the auctions.
Woo!
Yeah.
Congratulations.
That was Soryu's insurance policy. And he said it would be a pain to kill you if you went to the cops. So that's why he did it.
I love him already.
Bro was like, "It's too much work to kill you, so I'm gonna make you an accomplice instead."
Period. Make me an accomplice, baby. I'll do whatever you want. I'm here for it.
And then Soryu explains that the IVC... Yeah,
Wait a minute. He said it was too much work to have to kill you if you went to the cops. But he called, what's-his-face? Memoro?
Yeah.
Lazy and Okay. Seems like we're a little biased over here, but
whatever. Yeah, that does come into play because he has rose-tinted glasses on when it comes to detectives.
He does?
Yeah. He's such a pure being. I say that as if he isn't a killer, but
Yeah, I was about to say he's literally in the mafia, but...
He has morals, okay?
Well, that's a first.
Yeah, like, after this, you'll just be comparing everybody else to Soryu and be like, no one's better.
Oh, no.
You can't tell me we're going up and then go back down. This is not a roller coaster.
Well, apparently it is. Well, I don't know, because roller coasters, they have, like, lots of ups and downs, but from the way you're describing it, it's literally just down, one up, and then straight down. That's it.
I mean, like, Isaac's not bad. He's not, like, completely horrible. It's just that no one can beat Soryu.
He sets the bar too high.
He really does. So Isaac explains it. I mean, not Isaac, but Soryu explains that the IVC is like a front for rich people to hang out because like rich people hanging out for no reason is weird, which I agree with. Like every time rich people hang out together and it's not for like a party or something, you already know something weird is happening.
Yeah, because rich people are antisocial.
So you find out Soryu also participates in the auction because it's a huge untaxed profit, of course. Illegal activity.
Of course.
And you also find out that Isaac used the mafia to get his hotel approved by the anti-casino groups.
Oh?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Oh, so of course, you tell Soryu, the leader in a mafia, committing a crime is wrong, and I don't think it should be easily forgiven.
What happened to he bugged my room? Girl, crime is wrong. Want to know what else is wrong? Lying to yourself like this.
And then, like,
strong morals, please.
In response to that, Soryu basically says the law is bullshit and is there to protect rich and powerful people and their assets. So crime isn't a real thing and it's very much dependent on your values.
I agree.
And then he tells you, we don't have the same values, so shut up.
I love him.
Yes. That man tells
us
you...
to my heart is stolen.
He told you crime is fake.
He told you crime is fake, so shut up. That's when I knew he was the one.
So, Ota tries to make you choose between him and Soryu. You, of course, choose Soryu.
Okay.
And, so then I think this was at, like, later on you're hanging out with Ota and Baba for some reason. I forgot what you're hanging out with them for. And, like, they pop up later on and you all see Soryu with a girl looking happy because, like, as of now, from, like, this whole time period, you have not seen Soryu happy. Not once.
Yeah. He's been really grumpy.
Yep. And so then that's where you meet Mei Ling, who is the daughter of the boss of the Bell Crickets in Hong Kong.
Okay.
She's there to visit. And in Sora's mind, you do not have a name right now. You are referred to as woman the whole time.
You know what? That's okay. It's not okay.
You are just a woman.
I was gonna come up with an excuse for him.
I mean, it's okay to me. I would prefer that than Koru. I would prefer that than Ota's dead dog.
You know what? Fair.
And then
That's a good point.
Sora's like, you're gonna babysit Mei Ling. And then he tells you to do it or die.
Yes, sir.
So you have to babysit another grown woman.
Does she act childish at least?
Not really. She's kind of like, she's more or less sheltered because, you know, she's a princess of a mafia, so.
Okay.
And then we're on chapter 3. And Mei Ling kind of just strongs arm you into being her friend. You're scared out of your mind because you don't know how to talk to her. And she's kind of just normal about it. You think it's strong arming, but it's like, she's like, I hope we can be good friends. I don't get to talk to many people my own age.
And you think that's strong arming?
Yeah. Because you're like freaking out about it because you're like, oh my god, she's gonna be like some like big hotshot woman and I'm just me, some normal person.
Pick me, choose me, love me.
And then Ota and Isaac comment on how you and Mei Ling look pretty similar and you have like similar heights and build, which this does come into play. And so Sora tells them not to insult Mei Ling by saying that you guys look alike.
Dang!
Yeah.
The degradation is real.
And so Sora decides that Mei Ling's gonna stay at the penthouse with you, and Soru's just gonna go to his condo and, like, let you guys stay together.
Okay.
You see how much freedom you have with Soru, and, like, it doesn't even feel like you were bought.
Yeah, it's literally just, you know, having a mafia boss. That's it.
Pretty much.
And even then, it's not like major stuff he's making you do.
You go on a hotel tour, and I was just sitting here thinking about, like, because they explained to you how many floors are in this hotel. There are 52 above ground floors, 7 underground floors, an art museum, a theater, a ballroom, and a shopping mall.
In one hotel?
Yes. Oh, yeah. You're forgetting the casino, too.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. I was just sitting here thinking about that, and I'm just here like, how do y'all... Because I was thinking about that, and I was thinking about how Baba keeps finding you whenever you're, like, cleaning up during work.
I mean, he's tracking you.
Because
You're worried about...
Huh?
You're worried about Soryu bugging your room. Worry about that tile tracker that Baba has on you, apparently.
Because how does he know where you're at? There's 52 floors!
Plus a mall and...
Jesus Christ. So, Mei Ling tells you that she's in Japan to find an arranged marriage candidate, and Soru makes you take off work because you're, like, in the middle of a shift as you meet Mei Ling. He makes you take off work to be her tour guide.
Okay.
Mei Ling's like, oh no, I don't want to give you extra work. She feels like she's being selfish by asking you to be her tour guide, and you guys start bonding. You end up staying up all night talking to each other. She's really just the nicest person. I mean, if you discount the whole mafia princess thing.
Yeah, you kind of have to forget part to look at her as a person.
I realized I mixed things up here because I told you that all the guys used to hang out in Switzerland in school. Turns out that was another story about rich people. This one, only Soru and Isaac know each other from, like, school. Because Soru and Isaac went to public school together in England.
Public school in England?
Yeah, I find it so funny that going to public school is something that a rich person finds to be rich.
Yeah, I was like, that's why I was confused. Public school?
Going to a public school in another country is what rich people do.
Well, there's probably a very good reason why they chose England and not America.
I didn't choose America either.
I would never choose America.
And after hearing that, May's like, I want to be close friends with you, like they're close friends. And I'm just here like, oh my god, thank you, May! I don't have friends, but thanks.
Yeah, that's so sweet.
And then as you hang out with May's like so appreciative of you because, like, she's so happy because she feels like a normal girl for once. And she just loves hanging out with you because, like, this is, like, the only freedom she has.
Oh,
and
girl.
You also find out from May telling you that her and Soru don't have, like, any real freedom and can't even hope for love in their life. Hope for friends that wasn't given to them by the mafia. Love, nothing. And because Mei just wants to like hang out with you without Soryu bodyguarding in the background, you guys sneak away.
Smart.
Yeah, you go down to an abandoned back alley to hide from but Mei tells you that she'll stick up for you if you get blamed for any of this. Yeah. And then some dude in black shows up looking for Mei.
I'm on team Mei. Wait, what?
Yeah, some dude in black shows up looking for Mei and they don't know which one you are, but she's wearing a cheongsong, which is the Chinese dress.
Why is she wearing that? Why isn't she just wearing regular clothes if y'all are sneaking away?
I don't know. She's constantly wearing one, but whatever. So they figure out that one's Mei, of course, because she's the only one wearing Chinese attire instead of regular clothes. Yeah. So they try to kidnap her. You try to stop it. You almost get punched in the face. But Soryu comes up behind them with a gun and threatens to shoot the dude if he moved.
If he moved. Yeah. Slay King.
So the kidnappers run away because they're like, we didn't know Mei had a bodyguard.
Shoot them, they moved.
And then Isaac's surprised that Soryu didn't let me get punched.
I'm kind of surprised too.
I found that so funny because I'm just here like, you wanted me to get punched?
Yes.
So that night, Soryu tells Mei's dad, Simon, that he's gonna use me as a decoy to find the mafia that tried to kidnap Mei.
Oh, how nice.
And this is all because of the comment that Ota and Isaac made about us looking similar.
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
Why do they gotta do that?
And Soryu tells you that he's doing it because he wants the Bell Crickets to owe him a favor, and he does not value your life. He does not. He's like, if you die, you die. If you live, you're free.
If you live, you're free.
Yeah. But if you die, who cares? Because you're dead.
He's got a point. Once you're dead, you're dead.
So then we're at chapter 4, and a few days later, Sora takes you to the Ice Dragon's compound, and you have to pretend to be Mei, but you're freaking out because you're at a mafia compound.
Womp womp.
Of course, you're like that. You're a fucking dumb bitch, but it is what it is.
Yep.
So, Sora ends up taking you into his office. He corners you, gets all up in your face. I mean, he does not know what personal boundaries are.
He really doesn't. He needs to take a lesson in it.
And then he starts telling you to stop being so hesitant, or people will get suspicious of you because you're not acting like a mafia princess.
Okay.
So then you go to the marriage meetings, and Sora kind of just makes you go so he can say that Mei couldn't find a good man because Mei doesn't want to get married. She never wanted to get married in the first place.
I don't blame her.
But Soru's commands were to find a potential husband, but he also wants to respect Mei's wishes of not getting married at all. So he's just like having her go to the meetings, but he's not trying to actually set her up. So instead of you babysitting Mei, Ota and Baba are babysitting Mei.
Oh no.
And you know, it's a fun time with the youngest and the oldest.
Are in charge.
The fact that Ota and Baba are have a 10-year, holy shit, a 10-year age difference, and they act just like each other. They're besties. They're at 2 different points in their lives.
2 very different points in their lives.
Like, I could understand, like, 34 and 44, but one's 24 and the other's 35.
No, one's a middle-aged man, one's fresh out of college.
So, when you, go to the meetings, you have to wear the, Chongsong. Oh god, I keep saying that with the accent, but yeah. And Soru's surprised that it looks good on you. That's a compliment. Yeah, that's his compliment. He has to tell you that it's a compliment too.
Because you didn't say thank you?
Because you didn't know it was a compliment. I wrote that Soru needs therapy, but I'm pretty sure that just had to do with his family life.
I mean, they all need therapy.
Yeah, I put no context to Soru needs therapy, but he needs therapy.
I believe it.
So, your first meeting partner, instead of talking to you, he plots murder with Soru.
Then why is he there?
Yeah. When he eventually remembers that you're there, he's like, we shouldn't be talking about this. And you're trying to ask him, like, what's his hobbies? His hobbies are, like, cleaning his swords that he uses to kill people.
Sounds about right.
And then you start freaking out over his illegal hobbies.
Girl! Okay.
Soru's like, laugh, bitch. He whispers in your ear and tells you to laugh. And then he pretends that you're sick. Oh, shit. What is going on with the dog? But, yeah, he pretends that you're sick and then he pulls you out the room. And then he scolds you and threatens you again about, you know, how you need to act like a mafia princess or he'll sell you or kill you.
How nice.
At this point, I'm not even bothered by the threats.
Yeah. They're just normal.
At this point, they're just empty. They're empty threats to me.
Yeah, because he hasn't done anything yet. There's no action behind the threats.
And then you start complaining to him about how these men are scary and how scary men make you tremble. And I'm just here like, please shut up.
Scary men make me tremble
like
Shiver me timbers.
normal men are scary.
Literally. Normal men are
normal men are more likely to go out and kill you.
over dumb stuff.
Exactly. So then you also meet Ryosuke officially, and he's like your official bodyguard. That man is so precious. He's like a golden retriever. He just wants to protect you. And you realize people in the mafia are human too.
Wait a minute. You're friends with May, and it took you this long. Oh my god.
May doesn't count in your mind. May is just a victim.
You know what? Fair. She didn't ask for all that.
So the meeting was a failure, and when you go back to the office, Soryu pushes you against the wall, and then he asks you how your performance was at the meeting.
Don't want to answer.
He tells you were god awful, and that you need to be firm and confident, and have no hesitation.
Why didn't he just have you shadow May?
Because you need to pretend to be May.
And if they see you two in the same... Okay. But, like,
Yeah.
why didn't he tell you to ask for, like, advice from May?
I guess he assumed that you would do it on your own, that you
You're
were
too
smart
dumb
enough to
for-
do that.
He has too much faith in you.
So, like, while this is still going on, Soryu puts a gun to your belly to scare you so you'll get over your fear. He says if you're scared of dying, you won't be scared of these scary men.
You won't die if you get shot in the stomach, though.
Yeah, but you're dumb, remember?
Yeah. You have more chances of surviving being shot in the stomach. If he held it to my head, I'd be like, okay. A little kinky, but okay.
Because, like, basically it's like death versus arranged marriages and the scary factor. And then you tell him off by saying this whole plan would be wasted if I'm dead. The one time you have like some actual smart.
Why is she like randomly smart in this? Like there's random moments where she's just like, you know what? I have some brain cell.
Sora agrees with you that this plan would be a waste of time if you did die. He laughs. And then he pulls the gun away from you, and you see that he had only pointed the handle at your stomach. He never actually pointed the gun at you.
How did you not feel that it was the handle?
You're dumb.
This is painful.
You're dumb. That's the only way I can sum it up.
That's really the only explanation at this point.
Yeah, so he pretended to do that to help you get over your fear, and you think that he was being a little extreme.
No, he was not, because most likely, if they find out that you're not the mafia boss, they will kill you. Or the mafia princess. They'll kill you.
Yeah, you're just like, that was so extreme. He didn't have to do that to me. And like, I'm just here like, you are so dumb. So chapter 5, Baba is carving over cheongsams again, as he always do, because he's like, I always wanted to go on a date with a girl in a cheongsam. It's weird.
Okay, Baba. Enough with your fetishes.
And then Isaac's like, I like girls in long dresses, and kind of just like looks at you. And then Ota is surprised that Isaac has some interest in you. And then Isaac's like, I'm tired of beautiful girls.
Dang! They're just demolishing you in this one. They're taking every chance to insult you.
I put lung cancer Mamoru because man is blowing smoke in your face as soon as he comes in.
How nice! We love secondhand smoke.
And then, so Soryu starts complaining about him smoking on you and blowing smoke in your face. And, like, you realize that Soryu and Mamoru don't like each other.
It took you that long to notice?
Like, you noticed it, but you're, like, coming to, like, the realization that they don't like each other on, like, a base level.
Okay.
And then, so May's, like, there. She's, like, she feels super bad because you're suffering for her sake. Because you're going to meetings, like, every day. After work, during work, on your days off. Yeah. And Ryosuke, he's so dumb. That man is so dumb but so precious. He comes into the room, sees you and May, and he's like, who's this? Who's this girl?
Okay.
So May introduces herself as you, and he's like, oh my god, a friend of May is a friend of mine. And then they all start making dog jokes. They all start making dog jokes to Ryosuke.
Oh, why?
Because he's like a dog. He's like a puppy.
Yes, but it's cute.
It's adorable, but this is a group of men.
You right. Rich men.
True. So, at your last meeting, not like your very last, but like the latest one, a loan shark president falls in love with you at first sight, and then he starts following you when you reject him. Yeah, you got a stalker on your hands. So, with your stalker, Sword threatens the guy because he would not leave you alone. And so he goes away for like a few minutes, and then Sora leaves. So you're with Ryosuke, and then like he comes back. The president dude comes back, and bro stalks you. He chases you down. He's like driving around town looking for you. So Sora takes you to his condo instead, even though he doesn't want to. He's like, this is the only way I can get him off your back, because I'm going to
Yeah.
pretend that we're in a relationship. You know, that's their go-to.
Yeah, but like, if he's a guy who's willing to murder people, don't you think pretending you're in a relationship with an obsessive stalker who fell in love at first sight is the smartest idea?
I don't know.
Because he's already lost it, clearly, so he will not be opposed to killing to get the woman he wants.
Yeah.
Who he thinks.
And when you get to Soru's condo, Ryosuke decides that he's gonna cook for y'all because, like, he wants to apologize because he didn't realize you guys were being stalked. And that man can't cook. His fried chicken looked like charcoal.
But he tried.
And then, so Soru eats the chicken, despite how it looks, because Soru's a nice dude.
So
and
cute.
then you thought Soru was gonna kill Ryosuke because the chicken was bad.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm just sitting here like, man is not that, he's not that trigger happy.
He's not. If he was, you would already be dead.
So then you decide that you're gonna make omelets for them. And you end up making you make omelets for everybody. And Soru eats his omelet and Ryosuke's omelet.
Oh, but what does Ryosuke eat?
Nothing.
Oh, I mean, at least you know he likes your food.
And then, like, Ryosuke tries to call him out, but, you know, Soru hits, and you realize that Soru hides his shyness by hitting people. And you also learn that he likes eggs. And Soru decides that you're going to sleep over at his place because he doesn't think it's safe enough for you guys to leave later on at night. And while you're at his house, so in Soru's mind, Soru hates the loan shark. He wanted to spray deodorant on the loan shark because he was wearing too much cologne.
Dang.
Yeah. Soru's sensitive to perfume and cologne, and he hates people who wears artificial things. He says you can't trust people who wears artificial.
Dang. So like 85% of humanity.
Pretty much. And then, so, chapter 6, you are over here trying to pretend to do yoga because you're like freaking out because you have to stay the night at Soru's place. And Soru just makes you go to bed anyways.
Okay.
And Soru's like confused as to like why you're acting the way you're acting. It takes him a while to realize that you're nervous, and he's confused as to why you're nervous and scared whenever he's being nice to you.
Because he's never nice to you.
I mean, he does, his actions are nice, but I mean, like, he never says anything nice.
Yeah.
So then you look at all the books that he has, because that man has like shelves of books. And you realize that Soru likes reading mystery novels and detective novels. And you ask him why he likes those types of books. And he says that the police and mafia are similar, and that literally that the only difference that they really have is like what they're working toward. And that's also the reason why he doesn't like Mamoru as well, because he feels like Mamoru is like doesn't encompass what it is to be a detective.
Okay.
Yep, Soru's a book nerd. It's
We
so
love him
cute.
for that.
We love that. And then he also tells you ask him like what he wanted to be if he wasn't in the mafia, and he tells you that he never really got to choose what he wanted to be, so he never thought about it. And then he lets you read one of his books to go to sleep.
Aww.
And after you fall asleep, like after reading a few pages with like you're untucked, and he just comes up and tucks you in still. It's super cute. Yeah, I mean like chapter 6 and he finally falls in love with you. He's finally falling in love with you.
I'm here for it.
So the next day, you go to the convenience store to buy a lunch because you didn't have a chance to make your lunch since you weren't at the hotel. And you bump into Baba by the magazine.
How convenient.
He works at the store.
Why is he always there, like, the morning after you bump into... Wait, why is he always there the morning after you spend the night with the person?
I mean, he was at work, so...
Okay,
yeah.
I was about to say, like, man can just, like, sniff you out, and he's like, you spent the night with a man.
No, because he's like, literally, you're looking at him, he's looking at you, you're like, why are you wearing the convenience store uniform? And he tells you he works there part-time to relax.
Oh, I forgot about that little detail. Okay.
Yeah, that is his leisure activity, working.
But for funsies.
Oh my god. This is why we hate rich people. Eat the rich.
Literally.
It's giving like, I can't remember who it was, but that one, like, either YouTuber or celebrity that worked at McDonald's for a day.
Wasn't it Lady Gaga?
I think it was.
Yeah, it really is.
So, on your lunch break, you guys go out to the park, and Baba gossips about how it's surprising and unusual for Soru to spend time with you.
Okay.
And then he tells you that Soru isn't actually mean to you, and that he actually shows emotion around you. And then he tells you that Soru is like a bad guy, but he's not a bad person. Basically, Soru is wingmanning hard. I mean, Baba's wingmanning hard.
We love him for that. Go Baba.
So, after one of the marriage meetings, there's a shootout at the restaurant.
How nice.
And Soryu doesn't pull his gun out because he's more worried about protecting you. And you end up seeing a kid that's just like out in the open about to get shot. So you distract the kidnappers to save the child, and then Soryu gets shot in the arm in the process.
You dumb whore.
And then, no, because you get the whole patching up his wound scene.
Okay, I'm okay with this. You smart
Yes.
girl.
You patch up Soryu, and he tells you that he doesn't try to kill. He doesn't hurt innocents. He doesn't want innocents involved in any of this. And you also find out that Ryosuke ran away from home after his mom got remarried, and Soryu saved him. And when Ryosuke joined, he told Ryosuke that Yazuka should have standards, and picking on the weak makes you a thug.
It does.
And then Ryosuke also tells you that Soryu has morals despite being a bad guy, and he doesn't have a good relationship with the boss of the Ice Dragons, his mafia, because his morals and because of the money. And Soryu wants to change the Ice Dragons.
Okay.
And then we get into chapter 7.
Mhm.
And here you're relaxing when Mei sprays some perfume on you and tells you that she went sightseeing with Baba and Elta, even though she wasn't supposed to. You're finding out now that she's been sightseeing this whole time.
Oh dear.
And you thought about snitching on her.
Are you serious?
Yeah, that was your first thought. You were like, oh no, she shouldn't be doing that. Maybe I should go tell Soryu. So then the guys start teasing Soryu for like being responsible for you. And of course, Soryu pulls out his gun.
Of
Because
course.
he has a gun in the lounge chair too.
Does he have a gun everywhere?
I don't know. But at this point, I'm like, how have you not found any of these guns? You cleaned this place.
No, literally.
Yeah. Like, there's so many guns in the chair, but you have never seen them? Why are you so surprised? It makes me think you're not actually cleaning this house.
Exactly.
So, you end up making everybody an omelet except Aizuke, Mamoru, and Ilta because Baba was asking for your omelets since he heard about you feeding Soryu.
Uh-huh.
So, you and Soryu end up going grocery shopping together.
Huh? Oh,
And
but she sprayed perfume on you. He doesn't like perfume.
we're gonna get to that.
Oh, my bad, G. I'm jumping ahead.
That actually does come up. And Soryu doesn't know what organic vegetables look like.
Really?
Yeah, and he's never seen fruit whole.
Really?
So he's just like walking through the produce section like, what's that? What's that?
Huh?
And I'm just here like, rich people. You don't know what a whole tomato looks like?
Wait, that's a rich people thing?
I would assume it's a rich people thing, but it might not be.
I thought it was like a poor people thing.
To not know what a whole vegetable looks like?
I didn't for years.
Oh.
Because we couldn't afford it, so we would get like the pre-cut.
I mean, I would assume you would know just from going into the produce aisle.
We couldn't afford groceries.
So you never just walked around there?
No.
Oh.
We would get food from like churches and stuff. Certain places would do like random meal things.
Yeah.
And we would just go and steal food from there.
Oh.
So until I was about like 6 or 7, I didn't know.
Oh, wow.
Anyways, poor kid things. Back to
Yeah,
rich kid.
I mean, I guess you can relate in that aspect, but like he didn't know because he's always used to getting his food prepared for him.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, and Soryu wonders about the logistics of fighting in the produce aisle because he's like, what if we get attacked in the produce aisle of the... I gotta figure out, where am I gonna go to shoot off other people?
Wow.
Yeah, and he's like, okay, there's no way I can like hide behind anything if it push comes to shove and we end up fighting in the produce aisle. I'm just going to protect you.
Aww.
And then he's also in awe of your like selflessness and about like saving the kid, and like he's also confused why you were worried because like in that around that time that he was like thinking, some women start gossiping about him. Because they're like, oh my god, is that the dude who always goes into the ice dragons? Yeah. So, I mean, like, that moment happens, and you're, like, getting mad for his sake, and he's, like, confused why you're worried. So, then we have one of those moments where you're looking really dumb again.
Of course.
So, it starts raining, and you wait outside for Soryu because he's going to go buy an umbrella for you guys. Some tries to pick you up and tries to get you to go to a hotel with him. I'm shamed by the guy because I was dressed the way I was dressed when he saw Soryu. Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Turns out Soryu was like standing behind me the whole interaction, but the dude didn't notice until like he tried to get me to go to the hotel. But like you get shamed because of what you're wearing. Because Soryu's your boyfriend. Your quote unquote boyfriend. Not really, but The thing is, you're wearing a white shirt.
Are you serious?
Yeah, you're wearing a white shirt, but you know what happens when you wear a white shirt and it's raining. Yeah. So the guy pushes you onto the ground, and Soryu helps you up and he immediately gives you his jacket because Soryu notices what's going on. You don't. And you finally realize that your shirt is see-through because of the rain. I don't know how you didn't notice.
I don't know how you didn't take that into consideration in the first place.
I don't know either. But when you fell, you twisted your ankle, so Soryu decides to give you a piggyback ride.
Huh?
And in that, Soryu notices you smell different, and he tells you he doesn't hate your smell, and then he uses your name for the first time.
Instead
Chapter
of a
7.
woman.
Yeah, Chapter 7, he finally uses your name.
I'm here for it. I love it.
Oh, and in his mind, he's thinking that he loves the perfume that you're wearing. Yeah, he loves the perfume that you're wearing because you're wearing it.
So he's inadvertently saying he loves you.
Yeah, so a few
I'm
days later,
loving this.
Isaac calls you up to the penthouse. Soru's confused because he's like, what are you doing up here? I didn't pay you. And like not Soru, but Isaac tells you that you have an arranged meeting. Soru's confused because he's like, I didn't set up any meetings today. And Isaac's like, well, I did. I set up this meeting.
Uh-oh.
And he set this up behind Soru's back. And obviously Isaac did this to kill time. And he has his Cheshire Cat grin on. And he just wants to see how this meeting goes. So chapter 8, Isaac sets you up with a politician that happens to be very popular. And both Ota and Isaac come to the meeting with you guys as well. So
Okay.
it's you, Soru, Isaac, and Ota. And Ota and Isaac are hyping up this dude. They're like, this dude is so great. You'll love him. You guys might get married immediately. Soru comes in real hard. He's like, why do you want to date her? Why do you want to marry her? Why do you want to get involved with the mafia?
Dang.
Yeah, Soru's like trying to figure out why this man wants connections to the mafia. And then he tells the dude straight up that he has no morals.
Dude has no morals?
Yeah, he tells the politician that he has no morals.
Slay.
And Soru is just being rude and insulting the whole time and then calls out the man's image.
Dang. Sora's going in.
And then Isaac and Ota try to drag Soru off so you can be alone with the politician. And Soru claims that he has to stay to keep you safe. Isaac's offended because he's like, my hotel is safe. What do you mean? And Ota's over on the side just laughing.
Of course he is.
He's laughing at Soru's protectiveness of you. And of course, Soru stays the whole meeting and it ends awkwardly.
Oh, that makes so much sense.
And then Isaac and Ota, after the meeting's over, they're not bothered by, like, Soru being mad at them for the whole meeting in general. They're over here laughing. They're cackling. In fact, Isaac is doubling over in laughter because he found it so amusing.
Dang.
And he tells you he's not laughing because of the meeting. He's laughing at Soru's reaction to the meeting.
Oh, that makes sense.
And then he's like, I didn't give a damn about that meeting at all. I was just fucking with Soru.
Wow.
This is how you know they have too much time on their hands.
Too much time and too much money. Like, they got a whole politician in there.
We have another politician that comes in season 2.
Oh, gosh.
And he actually gets, like, a face.
Oh.
So then Ota tells you that Soru was grumpy because the politician was popular with women. And then he tells you that Soru was jealous. Soru gets super jealous, and then he tries to cover it by saying that you can't fall in love with any dude because it would be a pain.
He's trying to be slick, but we know what's going on.
And then suddenly May comes in, her and Baba, and they're like freaked out because May got attacked on their outing, of course, because they wanted to go out and do whatever. They didn't wear disguise because Baba wanted to go on a date with a girl in a chonsong.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Baba wanted to fulfill his little fetish. So, and then May's like, maybe I should go back home because I'm just being a bother to everybody and I'm just causing problems. And you decide to offer yourself up as bait. Yeah, you suggested it so Mei Ling could have a normal life a little bit longer. And Soru doesn't want to do it at first because he says it's dangerous. And Isaac reminds him that you are Mei Ling's stand-in. That's what your job was meant to be.
Bet he wasn't happy to hear that.
And then you tell Soru that you trust him, and he gives in to you. And then he tells you that he'll protect you no matter what. Great. It's so great. So you go out in the middle of the night and just walk around. You are like the most obvious bait ever. Because you're just kind of standing out there waiting to get, like, kidnapped.
Of course.
And, you know, the bad guys are dumb, too, because they take that as a chance.
Of course. Why wouldn't they?
So you get taken to an abandoned warehouse, and you're tied up. And you find out that the Arimura gang, which is a totally different gang that's, like, random. We don't even get to hear about them later on. They're so irrelevant that they just kind of die. But they wanted to control Simon, May's May's dad, and so they kidnapped you. It's a mafia power struggle.
How? Okay.
You almost get murdered. Soryu shows up, pulls a gun on the boss, and apologizes to you for taking so long. And then he compliments you on being good bait.
Aww.
And then Ryosuke, yeah, it's cute what he says.
Yeah, anybody else?
So Ryosuke had followed Soryu, ended up getting caught. So Soryu ends up surrendering to save Ryosuke, and then Soryu starts getting punched, and he no longer has the upper hand anymore in this whole fight.
No.
Very awkward. Chapter 9 starts off with Soryu getting repeatedly kicked and mocked while you and Ryosuke have to watch. Yeah, the storyline got dark.
It really did. Wait, how many chapters are there?
There is 12?
Okay.
Yeah. Wait, no, 13. Because the good ending and the bad ending. Good ending and the happy ending.
Yeah.
So, Soryu gets beaten to a pulp, but he's more worried about you and if you're okay.
Dude, you're literally there bleeding out on the ground. We're fine.
And then the boss almost stabs Soryu, but Mamoru shoots the knife out of his hand, and then Mamoru has to pull his one-liner of the day about how today was his day off.
Of course.
And Isaac shows up, and he's like, as if you actually work. I can't stand either of them. Especially, I like Isaac showing up as if you actually work. Why? I just find it so funny that they just show up pulling out one-liners as if this wasn't a serious situation where someone almost died.
I guess they think it's funny. They probably don't really have a good grasp of mortality at this point.
I wrote down that they're all sociopaths.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
So Isaac unties you, and you run to Soryu, and he kind of comforts you, and you hug, and it's just super cute. And so Soryu has Isaac and Mamoru take you home, and then he tells the mob boss that he wants some payback, and that payback's a bitch.
Ooh.
So of course he kills him.
Of course. In front of you?
Huh?
In front of you?
No. Isaac and Mamoru takes you home.
Okay.
Yeah. The next day at work, you tell the girls about Soryu, and after your last meeting, Soryu takes you to, after your last, your official last marriage meeting, Soryu takes you to his condo.
Okay.
And then he orders you to make omelets for him. And then he tells you to make them again for him sometime later. And, between, the time where your last meeting happens and, the time he went and killed the man, Mamoru scolds Soryu for trying to look cool in front of you when he was getting beaten to a pulp. Baba also calls Soryu out for using your name, and Isaac tells Soryu that he kind of knew about his feelings for you since he saw Soryu at the meeting with the politician. Yeah, so Isaac has been known about Soryu's feelings for you.
That makes sense.
And the only reason that Soryu brought you to his condo was so the guys couldn't say shit. Yeah. And he's also conflicted about you being done with having to do the marriage meetings, and he's just kind of sad about it.
Because it was you guys just spending time together and all.
And he doesn't know how to hang out with you afterwards because he said he would free you. But, you also end up realizing your feelings for Soryu, and you fall asleep on his couch while you're, waiting for him while he's showering. And you wake up in the middle of the night with Soryu sleeping next to you. By the way, he had, tucked you in. He tucked you into the bed, and then he thanks you for your hard work. And he kind of watches you sleep for a little bit, but, that's just because he's, reminiscing.
Yeah.
So you admire his face while you're up, and he pulls you into his embrace while he's sleeping. It's just so cute. And you finally realize that you love this man, and that you want to be with him forever.
You only finally Yay!
Yay! Soryu also says he wants to be with you forever, too, before he falls asleep. But, Soryu's not the main concern right now.
Yeah. Hold on, my phone's gonna die.
So the next day, you go back to the penthouse, and May is grateful because, she was able to have a life for once. And Soryu kind of just avoids the questioning he gets because everybody starts asking him what he's going to do with you since now that the arranged marriages are over, and it's just this is what you want her to pay you back to do. What are you going to do? So then Soryu ends up calling Simon, and Simon forces May and Soryu in an arranged marriage because and she stuck up for him when he said that May can find a husband.
I'm gonna sue.
Chapter 10, you guys all go to the compound, and Ryosuke finds out the truth, and he tells you that you're still his mafia princess and promises to serve you forever. And, like, you're confused because you're like, I'm just a regular person. Why? And Ryosuke's like, you're a princess to me, so I'm gonna serve you forever.
Why isn't he an option? He needs to be an option, like, now.
Because
He
he's
needs
not
his own
rich.
outfit.
Yeah. So then they were talking about the marriage proposal, and you find out that if Soryu marries Mei, he's guaranteed to be the next boss of the Ice Dragons. And because the two groups will end up merging, and he can overthrow his old boss, the one that has no morals. And you're kind of upset because you're like, May's so much better for him because they have more aligning values and we're from two different worlds. I hate that two different worlds bullshit. I hate it so much.
It's such a junky excuse.
Like, and then he's like, you and May are so similar, so you're just sad. Baba ends up taking you to the casino after hearing that May and Sora are there just hanging out because May wanted to talk to him about the marriage proposal because she doesn't really want to do it, of course.
Of course.
And at the casino, they're talking about if he was like really okay with it because May just wants Soryu to be happy and she knows that Soru's happy with you. And she doesn't really want either of you to be sad because you're his friend. I mean, you're her friend and he loves you.
Yeah.
So Baba takes you to the casino and he's losing.
Of course.
Because he sucks. But he also asks you to like play because he's like, of course you say no, and then he's like, you're never gonna know if you don't take chances. You shouldn't give up before like you actually do something.
I see what he's getting at.
Yeah, he's doing his old man advice, but in like a fun young person way.
Yeah.
And then so like while you're there, you see Soryu tenderly talking to May. He just has a tender smile, and you immediately think that he's like being like super nice to May. Hold on. You think he's like being super like tender towards May. And you're still on this like bullshit that Soryu actually likes May because they're like similar and Soryu can reach his goals by marrying May.
He said he wants to spend the rest of his life with you.
You're an idiot.
Where's the logic?
You're an idiot, okay? So Soryu ends up locking eyes with you, sees you, and he questions you while you're there. Baba ends up intervening in the conversation because May comes up to you and she's like, hey, what's up? How's it going? And you're just like on the verge of tears because like you've gotten into this mindset where you really think that they're gonna get together. So Baba intervenes, tells you he's out of chips and that he wants you to go back to the penthouse to go get him some more and that you can take your time to go get them if you want to. So that was him basically giving you a chance to leave because he can see that you're about to cry.
Oh, well, that's nice.
We love Baba. Baba's the best friend that your best friends are supposed to be. Yeah. And Baba, like, from Baba's end, he just can't bear to watch you guys struggle to communicate. And when Soryu tries to go after you, he tells Soryu that he sent you away for a reason. And that Soryu is the reason he sent you away. And then he tries to stop Soryu from going after you, but like he doesn't really do much. He tries, but I mean, like those are two different body types.
Yeah.
Obviously. You end up bumping into your coworker / friend, Sakiko, I think that's how you say her name. You know, the one from the beginning who thought it was love at first sight.
Yeah.
Yeah. So because you bump into him, it gives you Soryu a chance to catch up to you, and he tries to ask you to go to the penthouse to talk, and you're like, do I have to? And he ends up apologizing for even asking you, and then walks away, so you leave. And, like, from Soru's side, seeing you nearly cry, Soryu ended up giving up on you and his happiness with you.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna cry now.
And then, like, Soryu ends up agreeing to the marriage because because of his boss getting into, like, some trouble. Yeah, he agrees to a marriage because his boss was a fuck up.
I hate this. I said I loved it before. I hate it. Hate it. Not here for it.
This is, like, one of my stories. One of my characters.
Yeah, I think it's going good, and then more trauma. More trauma, more trouble. Just life in shambles.
And then a few days later, you're like reminiscing, like while working, and you have a broken heart. So then Baba shows up in the room that you're cleaning. Mind you,
he's got a tracker on you.
Mind you, the 52 floors.
The 52 floors! With God knows how many rooms on each floor.
I don't understand it. How did you find me?
He's a demon with the tracker on you. Like, he just knows your scent. He can just teleport there or something. I don't know. But, like, it makes no sense.
No, none at all. Like, after, I was like, I could understand somewhat beforehand because I was like, there's probably only like 13 floors. I mean,
No.
it couldn't be that hard if it was like scheduled, like which floor like you're supposed to be on. But 52 floors?
And I know you don't have like 52 employees.
Exactly. And even if you do, they work in pairs, so it's like you have well over like 100 something employees.
No sense.
And all the cleaners are like girls, so yeah. But so Baba asks if you're upset over Soryu, and you tell him yeah, of course.
Mhm.
And because you're being honest, Baba tells you, oh no, I'm doing the voice. That Baba tells you that Soryu's not mad at you and that he's just been in Hong Kong for the past few days, so he's not actively avoiding you. Yeah, he's not actively avoiding you, he's just somewhat avoiding you.
Yeah, he's just in a completely different country.
And then, of course, Baba tells you that you shouldn't give up before you even try again.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's like, remember what I told you at the casino? Apply this now. And then he basically calls you out for your inferiority complex with May, even though you love Soryu.
As he should.
And then he also tells you that just because people are similar doesn't mean that they're attracted to each other or that that person is good for them, and that there's more to love than just that.
Period. Go Baba.
And then he also thinks that the differences make you want to know more about each other, and that love can be difficult because you live different lives, but even then you guys can overcome it. Baba is being like dad /
He really
best friend.
is. I'm loving him in this one. I really am. Like, I'm here for it.
The funny thing is he's giving you way more help than he would his own bestie.
Exactly. His own bestie, he's like, I'm gonna play homewrecker. And this one, he's like, I am going to be the best wingman alive. I'm not even close to this guy. Best wingman alive.
I mean, they both do illegal jobs, so.
True.
And, Soryu's closer in age to Baba.
True. That makes sense.
I mean, Soryu's 28. Yeah, so, then Baba makes a joke about wishing he stole your heart instead because he hates seeing you suffer and he just wants to stop your suffering.
Why is everyone so in this one?
You say that you just want to hang on to your feelings a little longer for him because it's just like, okay, it's super sad and super cute. It's horrible. So Baba gets a text telling him that Soryu's back in town and he drags you to the lounge during your shift and you complain because, for some reason you love work.
Yeah.
If I was besties with rich people who wanted to like drag me off of work every hour, I would not care.
And I still get paid.
Exactly. Because like they're not clocking you out.
Exactly. I wouldn't care.
Half the time they just tell your boss, hey, she's with us right now. Don't clock her out.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't work anymore.
Even if you do get clocked out, they still they're taking you on trips and paying for everything you want.
They're basically all your sugar daddies.
Like, even if you don't have the money, they're still paying for you.
Mm-hmm.
So, when you go up there, Ota's upset. Ota's mad because you guys didn't have a moving reunion.
A move-in reunion.
Yeah.
Okay.
Soryu won't look at you. Isaac legit does not care.
That's Isaac.
He straight up's like, hey, Soryu, are you marrying May for real? For real?
For real, for real? Be so for real right now.
And after hesitating, Soryu's like, yeah, I'm gonna marry May. Yeah. So that whole speech for Baba just literally went out the door.
Yep. Just gone. Means nothing.
It means nothing to you.
Mm-hmm.
Most people would realize he's doing this because he has to, not because he wants to. But you, empty. Everything gone. Thoughts. So, of course, everybody except Baba accepts that Soryu's gonna marry May. And basically, Baba's like, you're gonna miss her when you're gone. You're gonna miss the main character. You're not gonna like being married.
Mm-hmm.
Soryu doesn't believe it. He's just over here like, yeah, sure, whatever. But chapter 11, several days later, you're still heartbroken and you're still avoiding the penthouse. I don't know how because that's your job, but you're avoiding the penthouse. The manager comes into the break room with May because she's been looking for you. She was worried about you because you kind of ghosted everyone at the penthouse. And she's like, I thought you hated me because you were avoiding her. And I mean, like, you feel bad because you weren't necessarily trying to actively avoid her. You know she wasn't at fault for this, but you end up avoiding her anyways just because she's like there. Yeah, so you both end up apologizing. And then you end up congratulating May on the marriage engagement. And May's like, don't congratulate me. This is just a business deal. And so May tells you, like, in the deal, Soryu said that May gets to have whatever she wants. She gets to be free to fall in love, gets to be free to like go where she wants, make friends with whoever she wants. And all Soryu gets out of this is like being the boss of the ice dragons. Because, Soryu's a good guy.
Yeah.
And she also reminds you that she does not want to get married, and that she also tells you that she could never love Soryu.
She's over here like, I support you, bestie, but I do not understand. I will never understand. It could not be me, but I'm happy for you.
And basically, they just, like, the whole deal is just them being married in name only. And you're in your head thinking, oh, I wanted them to be happy, and I thought they could grow to love each other, and that's the only reason you could accept this.
Dense. How? Okay.
It bothers me so much that you went with this mindset that they can grow to love each other. It made me so mad because I'm like, who thinks that?
Yeah, apparently her.
Oh, you also find out that the tender smile that Soryu was giving May while they were at the casino happened to be because he was talking about you. And he was telling May that you're his son.
Oh, like the son.
S-U-N. Like, you're his S-U-N, son.
I was like, that's weird. But that makes sense.
Because he's like living in the darkness and you're the sunlight to him.
It's so cute.
And while you're still like trying to give up on Soryu, you end up walking past Isaac in the hallway. Isaac stops, tells you that you were lucky paying off that 20 million so fast. And then he's like, you're free. You start getting a weird feeling about it because you're like, that's weird. That's a weird way of you phrasing I'm free.
Yeah.
Especially like it's also coming from you.
Yeah, and not the person who owns me.
So, of course, you end up going to Soryu's office, and you see him packing. Soryu's being cold to you again, and you try to tell him what marriage should be, and that it should be two people who love each other. And then he tries to remind you that he doesn't have a normal life, and you just can't understand how he can't have a normal life. You're just so dense. You also tell him that he's running away from love and happiness, and then you start crying because you want Soryu to be happy and not close himself off forever. And this happens to be the first time he has ever seen you cry this whole time.
Dang.
Yeah. He wipes your tears, holds your hand. He tells you that he likes spending time with you, but the ice dragons are his priority. And then he's like, you're free now, but you want to stay with him. He tells you you're free, but you want to stay with him. And yeah, you're just like sadly looking off into the distance. Some time passes, and everybody else tells you that Soryu and Mei Ling went back to Hong Kong. And Ocha starts asking you if you're really okay with this, and if you're like okay with giving up. So then Ryosuke busted like the great wingman he is. That he's like your son.
I love
the son
him.
that you will not have until like 10 years later.
Yeah.
So Ryosuke calls you out, and he's asked you if your feelings were meaningless, and that he was happy about the marriage until he realized that Soryu wasn't happy without you, and that Ryosuke can't forgive you for giving up on Soryu so easily.
That's a stab in the heart.
Yep. And then while Soryu is in Hong Kong, Soryu is like super upset because he misses you, and he's like, she was the only thing making me feel normal. And he ends up deciding that he's like not gonna go through with the marriage. And him and Mei Ling are just like talking about it. He's like, and she's like, you know what they're gonna do to you if you don't go through with it. And he's like, yeah, I know. And he kind of just accepted death. Because, he's going to get killed because he went back on his word.
Yeah.
But, like, he gets handcuffed while he's there, and, he's like, I have no regrets. He's just thankful that he fell in love with you before he died, before he was going to be killed. And he wants you to just forget him and be happy.
Oh my gosh.
Sora's just like, you can't even get any higher than this.
You really can't. That's, like, best of the best.
But, like, back to, like, Ryosuke and all this stuff, while that's going on, you realize you're being a hypocrite. And Isaac's like, you finally returned to your senses.
You never had them.
I don't know. Yeah, and then he gets a phone call, and then he tells you that he suddenly has an errand to run in Hong Kong.
Please tell me you actually understand that you're going with him.
He asks, because you're dumb, you were never gonna get it. He asks you if you want to go, and he gives you 10 seconds to decide. You take all those 10 seconds to decide if you're gonna go or not.
Girl.
So Isaac's like, what took you so long? And then he tells you that he's not about to let Soryu get away either.
Slide.
Honestly, I'm just sitting here like, am I Soryu's girlfriend, or are you?
Literally.
Isaac's over here acting like he's the girlfriend.
Exactly. Isaac's over here like, let me go get my mans. I mean your man, not my. Just shut up and get on the plane.
No, because like, in the sequel, I'm pretty sure it's the sequel, Soryu gets upset. Isaac gets upset that you're hanging out with Soryu, and actually that Soru's hanging out with you and won't hang out with him. Man is like, you hung out with her yesterday. Hang out with me.
I love a good bromance dynamic.
So it's just Isaac, you, and Ota, because for some reason Ota and Isaac have been hanging out a lot recently.
Okay.
And Ota's like, hey, will Baba be mad that we left him out of this adventure? Isaac's like, that's not a problem. And he kind of just quietly fills Ota in on what's going on. Mamoru, they just don't care.
Of course.
Of course they don't care what Mamoru is like, if he's involved or not. He always knows what's going on anyways, though, even if he's not involved.
Yeah.
So, chapter 12.
Yay.
5 hours on a private jet later.
Phew.
Yeah.
Is he not already dead? That's too late.
He's been in a holding cell for like a week.
Okay.
So Isaac gives you a random sheet of paper and tells you to follow it with the Ryosuke because they had him come with.
Okay.
And Ota are kind of just cryptic and then they leave.
Okay.
Which is weird because like Ryosuke isn't a good bodyguard. Man is dumb.
He really is.
He's super dumb and you guys are in a foreign country.
Oh, y'all are screwed.
Yeah. So May ends up being at when you guys find the address. May is there waiting and she already knows that you came to confess to Soryu.
Mhm.
Of course, you're the only one who's not in the know of what's going on because that is always how it is. So you end up playing Mei Ling again, and they take you to the Bell Cricket's office, which is that part always confused me because I'm like, how do y'all not know what the mafia daughter of your own mafia looks like?
Right? And sounds like.
Yeah, I mean like, and you would have a Japanese accent too. So I'm like,
they're dumb.
Yeah. You see Soryu leaving the office, and he's handcuffed, and Soryu recognizes you instantly. One look, he recognizes you. And, some strange man ends up coming up to you and taking you and Soryu and Rios to an office, and he starts speaking Japanese to you.
You don't know Japanese.
I mean, you are Japanese in the story.
Oh, they're in China. Okay, ignore my lapse.
Yeah. They're in Hong Kong at the moment. The man starts speaking full, fluent Japanese to you.
Okay.
And of course you're like, what is going on here? How is this random dude from Hong Kong speaking full Japanese, fluent Japanese at that to me? You're gonna laugh because you didn't immediately clock this, but the man starts peeling off the skin of his face.
What? Because you can't say that like it's normal. He starts peeling off his skin? Jeez, what is it? Like freaking leather? Like is it just not attached?
It's Baba underneath there.
So he pulled off a mask, not his skin.
Hey.
No, I don't.
When MC was watching, it was like him pulling off his skin.
No, because I feel as dumb as the MC, right? Baba just pulled off his skin.
Yeah, he said Ota made that for him.
Oh, of course.
It
Did not
makes you
recognize
wonder.
Baba's voice.
I mean, this is an international thief. I guess he can mimic his voice and change his voice.
Oh, that makes sense.
It just makes me think of all the times that Baba had to have masks made for him that he just peeled away.
Oh, can you imagine how mortifying some? He definitely traumatized people. He traumatized me.
I'm pretty sure, like, there's, like, in Mamoru's story, he makes a mask where he's pretending to be Mamoru or something. So he makes masks just to... Oh, yeah, the sequel, the Ota sequel. He had a mask of, Ota.
Oh, you're right. I forgot about that. But you didn't say it was like him peeling off his skin.
Okay, he didn't peel off his skin in that one, though. This one, he rips that shit off in front of you.
Okay.
So, yeah, that happens. And Sora knew it was Baba. He immediately clocked that as soon as he started talking.
Of course, yeah.
Because Sora's, like, super, super perceptive.
Good thing he is, because I'm not.
Yeah, no. If it came down to me I would need Soru by my side because I would get us killed.
100%. Like, I'd already be dead.
But Baba decides to leave you and Soru to talk. And you tell Soru that you love him.
Aww.
And then he tells you that he said no to the marriage because he couldn't get the image of you crying out of his head. And it was burned into the back of his skull. And then he tells you that he wants no happiness where it results in you crying.
Love him.
Yeah.
I love him.
You see why this man's my husband.
Yes, I see. I 100%.
So Soru had ended up offering himself to the Bell Crickets because he didn't want a feud between the Ice Dragons and the Bell Crickets, and because he was the one who went back on the deal to marry Mei Ling. And like as you're having this moment, Soru gives you a light fleeting kiss and then he leaves. And of course, Soru reiterates that he's just happy to see you before he got killed. And when he leaves, you shut down, and like May's like, you need to get up and let's go. You can't be shutting down right now. He's about to be murked. Man is about to be killed.
Go May.
Because It made me so upset when she, like MC just, like, fell to the ground and shut down. I was like, "You don't have time to be shutting down.
No, you've got stuff to do.
Your boyfriend's about to die. Like, no."
Like, now's not the time to be the main character, okay?
Even though you are the main character.
Exactly.
So, at the underground execution, Soryu is almost shot in the head because that's how they do executions.
Okay.
And Simon ends up coming in and calling off the execution because Isaac convinced Simon.
Slay.
Yeah.
Master negotiator.
So, and Ota and Baba are just like so happy go lucky about this whole situation. They're like chill. And Baba says that Isaac was desperate to save Soryu. And Isaac was the one who had Baba sneak into the bell crickets. He also negotiated to save Soryu's life. And he promised them some of Ota's private work in exchange.
Dang.
Yeah. Honestly, Isaac and Soryu are dating. They're the ones dating.
Yeah, no, you're just the side piece.
Yeah, I'm just a side piece here.
Mm-hmm.
I married him, but I'm the side piece.
Mm-hmm.
So, for the good ending, May sees you all off to Japan, and Isaac is annoyed that you and May are taking so long to say goodbye. Like, dude, y'all are like hugging and crying and shit and just won't leave. And he's like, I'm ready to go. Let's go.
He's like, I got my husband back. Get in the car.
I mean, like, I understand because, like, you just went through all that work. I'm not ready to sit here in Hong Kong with you. I want to go home.
I want to go sleep in my bed.
And then, so, Soryu has to stay for a little bit because he has to get things sorted out. But he promises to come see you the moment he gets home. Of course, all the dudes tease Soryu. And then they start thinking that he's about to pull out a gun. And, like, he's like, I'm not going to pull out a gun in public.
I can just imagine they're all there like, dude, you're such a simp. And then they're like, I didn't mean it. Is there a chair?
Because they're like, you're not funny when you pull out the gun. This is not a funny joke.
They're all so dramatic. I love it.
So, a few days later goes by, you're thinking about Soryu, and like, you're in the lobby. Soryu comes straight to you, apologizes to you for being late, and then he tells the manager, you're leaving right now. And then he takes you to the penthouse.
It's like,
So, when you go to the room, Soryu's like, why is my room so clean? Usually there's like dust and like it smells dirt. It smells like moldish. And I'm just
molded.
Because he's like, I'm gone for a few days and it just smells moldy to me. And I'm just here like,
Sensitive nose.
Your nose is super sensitive, but
like a dog.
Yeah. So you tell him that you were cleaning Soryu's room every day so it'd be ready for him. And then Soryu tells you he wants to relieve his stress. He takes off his shirt and you think he wants to sleep with you, but then he like teases you by telling you not to get any weird ideas again.
But this is the one time it's okay.
He goes to the shower and you start reminiscing about the first time this happened, and you start to leave to go tell everybody that he's here, and then you feel water go down your neck. He's behind you in a towel.
We love it.
And you're like, I'm not running away this time. And Soryu's like, I didn't think you were running away, but okay. And he tells you, don't tell anybody I'm home. We can tell them tomorrow. This is a conversation for tomorrow for them. You start rambling because you're getting nervous, and he cages you against the wall. He tells you to be a good girl.
Okay. Yep.
And then he kisses you. And then he finally tells you that he loves you because he's like, I should have said this a while ago. And you went all the way to Hong Kong for me. I mean, Hong Kong's like 5 hours, but okay. But yeah, I did go to Hong Kong for you. And then he's like, I need to have you right now.
Slay.
I can't wait any longer.
Take it. Period.
And then he's like, he can't wait because he's been waiting this whole time.
We love it.
Man was in pain. Man was like, I can't. And of course, y'all fuck.
All
night long.
All night long. They weren't having that conversation tomorrow like you said they were.
The next morning, everybody's surprised to see that Soryu's back. Baba's like, Moo, you been back since yesterday? And y'all came in together? I know what y'all been doing.
Baba just smells it.
So, of course, they tease Soryu, and because, he used to hate women, and now he's sleeping with you. Soryu takes his gun out and starts loading it with bullets. Ota reminds him that they saved him, that they saved his life. And that's where the screenshot where I sent you where he's like, maybe I should repay you guys with evilness.
That's what that's from?
Yeah.
Oh, I love that with context. I loved it before, but this is even better.
And then Mamoru's like, if you shot anybody, I would arrest you. Dude. And I think I sent you the after parts too. And then, because Baba was like, you would be dead though. How are you going to arrest him?
Literally.
And Isaac's like, just don't shoot me first.
He's over here like, kiss me before you put me to sleep permanently. Kiss your homie one final goodnight.
I just find it funny that Isaac's only concerned is that he's not shot first.
Yeah. He's like, I want to see everyone else die first. I want to see how I'm more important.
He's like, you can shoot me second, but don't shoot me first.
Literally.
I'm just trying to figure out the logistics and him being shot first. Is he just gonna sit there and watch as everybody else gets shot?
I can imagine he just accepts it. And
I
then
feel
like right before he gets shot, he looks at Soryu and is like, "You saved the best for last."
he would say that.
It's a pure ego thing.
Yeah, Isaac's just all ego. But Baba also tells you, he sighs up to you and tells you that he's glad that Soryu came back for you and that he's happy just seeing you happy.
Baba is so underrated in this one.
He really is.
Like, I'm fully here for this.
This is like the story that got me on board with Baba.
Mm-hmm.
Even though like every other story got me on board with Isaac because he's like super funny but caring at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Isaac just cares in a more low-key way because Isaac was like that in Ota's story and I'm just here like, why do you care so much?
For real.
So, of course, seeing Baba talk to you and you guys whispering, Sora gets jealous and kind of pushes you behind him and glares at everybody and I mean, like, you're just cheesing. And he's like, he turns around, calls you a weirdo, and that's the end of the good ending.
I love
Honestly, the good ending is my favorite. I like it better than the happy ending. But for the happy ending, so you're in the lobby when Sora comes back, and, like, he immediately hugs you in the lobby and tells you he loves you right then and there in front of everybody in the lobby. In this version, Isaac and the gang sees you in the lobby, and they start teasing you immediately.
Mm-hmm.
So instead, he takes you to his condo and you making him an omelet.
Okay.
And then Sora tells you about how he told off his boss. He tells you that he wanted one of your omelets before dying.
It's like his final meal request.
And then you're like, so you love my omelets? And he's like, no, I love the chef.
Oh, that's a good one.
And then he's like, he's thankful for this normal happiness that you're giving him. And he tells you that he won't let you go again. Yeah. He tells you that he won't let you go again and that he's grateful to you for like giving him an idea of what normal was.
Mm-hmm.
And then he kisses you. And then he repeats this line from when he first met you and tells you, if you're good, I won't do anything bad to you.
Slay. He's just got like the best lines so far. Like, I'm just, yeah.
And as you're making out, you're like, this man hated woman, but he's really good with his hands, and he really knows what to do.
Ooh.
He tells you to stay with him forever, and you wake up next to Soryu, and he's like watching you sleep. Of course, you're like, don't watch me sleep, that's weird. And he's like, but you were watching me sleep the other time.
Dang.
And then he tells you that he's gonna protect the happiness that you give him and protect you.
Oh, because you are his happiness.
So then you have the epilogue. We're finally here.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the epilogue to that, like, your coworkers suddenly become important. They're suddenly a part of your life, like you had friends before.
Mm-hmm.
I just sit here and I'm like, you weren't here in my life 2 hours ago. Why do you want to be friends now?
When I was hopping on a plane to Hong Kong.
Where were you at?
Yeah, when I was sitting here crying over a man.
Why weren't you concerned about me when I was, like, going through all this?
Exactly, y'all were just non-existent.
So, your coworker, Chisato, and Sekiko, I don't know how to say her name. I think that's how you say her name, but they're like, they want to know more about Soryu because he's, like, mysterious boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
And you get that penthouse soup promotion. And in this timeline, the penthouse bros, they requested you directly. And the manager tells you that they directly requested for you. And of course, you're like, dang, that little bias that they have, the favoritism over here, is so obvious. So you're determined to do a good job now because you know it's favoritism and that they're just doing it because you're their friend, essentially. So you go to Soryu's room because there's a request for a maid. And you go into the room, and on the bed, there's a red chongsong just waiting for you. It's new, Soryu isn't there, and you kind of just like look at the dress, you hold it up to yourself, and you're just like, oh my god, this is so cute. And Soryu comes up behind you and asks you if you want to wear it. And then you trip trying to put the dress back on the bed, and then Soryu's like, do you want me to put it on you instead?
Yes, sir.
So, like, immediately Soryu stops. He goes to the door, opens the door. Baba and Ota were eavesdropping. Yeah. Soryu was only playing with you to catch them. Yeah. He was teasing you to catch them. And, like, Baba and Ota keep asking you to try on the dress. And you're kind of like, what's going on here? And they told you that they bought the dress and that they put the dress there and that it's your size perfectly and that they know your size just by looking at you. Ota picked the dress and Baba's still trying to get you to wear it, but I mean, like, you're like, I'm working, I can't put the dress on right now. Soryu picks up on what's going on because Soryu has more brain cells than you do. Soryu has the one brain cell of this whole group, actually. So
That
you
does
come
make sense.
out in the lounge. Soryu's like, how much money did you put on this? Isaac's like, I put 5 on you not putting on the dress. And Ota and Baba bet that you would wear it. And Ota's like, I should have gone with Isaac because Isaac's always right when it comes to Soryu. And they're just sitting here kind of milking that Soryu has a girlfriend right now because, like, it's weird. And then they start asking you about your dates with Soryu. And it kind of gets awkward because you've never been on a date with Soryu. And Memory was like, y'all need hobbies.
He's not wrong.
All y'all sit here and do is talk about Soryu's love life.
Yeah, that's like their only hobby.
Like, are y'all bored?
Clearly.
So they're shocked to hear that you guys haven't gone on a date yet. And they start noting that your relationship really hasn't changed and that there's like no real progress within your relationship because like if you're not going on dates or stuff, nothing's really changing with how it already was. So at the boy's insistence, Sora asks you on a date. So when you go on your date, he's self-conscious because like y'all are just walking around window shopping and you find out that Soru knocked out Ryosuke to go on this date. So you guys can be alone.
Oh, that's sweet, but not sweet. But, you know, I'm really conflicted right now.
Well, I mean, like, it's also your first date, and Ryosuke wanted to go along with y'all so he could play bodyguard.
Aw, he is like
and
a little
Soru
kid.
just wanted to spend time with you alone. You're looking at dogs in the window. Soru was like, do you want that? And you're like, no, I was just looking. Man, it was about 5 seconds from buying you a pet because you said it was cute.
He would have bought it and then gotten jealous from it, getting more attention than him.
He probably would. Yeah, he seems like the type. Actually, no, Isaac's the type to do that.
I see it.
Sora would be happy about the dog because he'd be like, oh, this dog could be there for you when I'm gone, when I'm on like trips to Hong Kong, or when I'm like going into hiding or something like that. You have somebody to comfort you and be there with you. Sora would find a positive not to hate the dog.
He would be grasping at whatever straws he can find.
So you guys go into the pet shop and you start looking at a toy poodle, and Sora starts getting followed around by a chihuahua. And
Not a chihuahua.
He starts getting flustered because the dog is it loves him. You also find out that the animals just love him. Like they think he's like the greatest thing on earth. I think to just oppose that, I think Isaac is the one where animals hate him, but he loves animals. We'll find out next week.
Yeah.
So then part 2 of the epilogue is you're looking at a dress in the store and Sora immediately goes into the store trying to buy it. You have to stop him and explain that you just want to window shop, that you don't need to buy everything I say looks cute or nice. Because he was like, what, you don't want to buy it? Is it not the right color? I need the dress in a different color? And I'm just sitting here like...
He thought window shopping meant you buy whatever's in the window.
And I'm just sitting here like, money.
Literally. Just money everywhere.
I wish I had that kind of money to just be like, oh, look at this is cute. Let's buy it.
Literally. Straight up disposable money.
So then you guys go past a movie theater. You see that Soryu wants to see a detective movie. You're not crazy about them, which is crazy in my opinion because I like detective movies. I like mystery movies.
Detective movies are really cool.
You're supposed to be a stereotypical girl.
Ugh.
So, but you see him staring at it and he's embarrassed to ask you to like go see the movie, and you're like, it's okay, I want to see it too. And then he finally admits to you that he wants to go see the movie. So Sora holds your hand the whole movie. He's super into the movie, like a child. It's great. We love it. And your friends end up seeing you and Soryu at the movie theater, so you decide to introduce them to Soryu. And the girls end up running into some gangsters while walking away, which I'm like, how did y'all run? Well, they bumped into some gangsters, but like that was super convenient.
Yeah.
Of y'all bumping into gangsters like immediately.
Like you're literally waving goodbye, take one step and then boom, gangsters.
So you try to go and help them, like as if you doing something would do something.
Okay.
And of course Soryu follows you because, you know, he can't let you do something dumb.
Of course.
He
can't let you deal with the consequences of your own actions.
Yeah, of course not. He ends up talking to the guys. The boss comes out and he recognizes Soryu. You recognize that boss as one of the marriage candidates, and you're like, oh shoot, he can't see me.
Yeah.
So you're kind of like hiding behind Soryu because you can't be seen, because then they'll realize you're not met.
Yeah.
So then the dudes back off because Soryu and like the boss are cool. Ryosuke finally finds you guys, and he thanks Chisato and Sekiko for being your friend. He thanks them for being friends with you, and then he invites them to tea with you. Yeah, he invites them to tea with you, Ryosuke, and Soryu.
Can we have this man in real life right now, please? Just right here, right now, please.
He's like the definition of like golden retriever.
He is, and it's so cute.
So Ryosuke starts calling you princess in front of them, and they're like, "Why is he calling you princess?" And you're just like, "Ha ha 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 ha." Ha. Yeah, funny story. Let's go.
Yeah, funny story. I'm not gonna tell you. Bye.
So then, Ryosuke's the ice dragons, buy whatever you want, the ice dragons are paying for everything. And your friends are like concerned. They're like, who's the ice dragons?
Soru's gonna knock him out again.
So then Soryu goes to take a phone call, and the girls start asking you questions. They're like, who's the ice dragons? The punks? Who are the punks? Why were they talking to Soryu? Why are they chill? They ask you if Soryu's the Yakuza, and you're like, he's not the Yakuza, but he is the mafia.
Ha, funny. Yay.
Yeah. And of course they're like, are you okay? Are things okay in your head?
Are you safe right now?
You end up mentally regret telling them, but you wanted to be honest, and you wanted them to know how much you love Soryu, because he's such a great guy. So then, epilogue 3, part 3, the last part. The next day, you're called into the lounge immediately. They're like, you need to come right now. Isaac tells you 5 seconds. Well, no, he says 5 minutes, but same difference.
Yeah.
5 minutes. And then they're like, so, what happened? What happened yesterday on your date?
Oh, they want all the tea.
Yeah, basically they were just waiting on you to come up there to gossip about your date because Soryu won't tell them.
Well, wow.
Yeah, Soru's sitting there mad, and you're confused because you're like, what? And then they're telling you that you have to share about the date because they're the reason that your date even happened, and that you need to share the happiness with them.
Share the happiness. Like it's a drug. Share the happiness. Hand it over.
As I said, they have no hobbies. They have no hobbies and nothing to do. So sad. It's so sad that this is their amusement.
It is.
So you start telling them about your date, and they're all surprised that Soru went on a normal date. Baba's just relieved that he knows how to go on one.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And then they give Soru's points off because he wanted to see a detective movie instead of a romantic movie. And they're like, we would have been worried if you got 100 points on this little date.
100 points. They're grading him.
And then Baba offers to teach Soru how to show a woman a good time.
Okay, there's good old Baba.
There's the one we know and love.
Yeah.
Oh, guess it wasn't in the sequel. It's
What?
now. So, because this is where they go to the casino to have some fun. And, yeah, this is the point when Isaac starts crying and whining about. But anyways, Sekiko gets crashed into by a drunk guest, and Soru intervenes on her behalf and before anything happens because that's your friend.
Yeah.
He personally knows her now. He's not gonna just watch as she gets hassled by some rich drunk.
Yeah.
So your friend thanks him and then admits that Sora's a good guy after all, and she needs to tell Chisato that he's cool. We don't need to be worried about you.
Mm-hmm.
They're fake. Because this is gonna come up later on.
Mm-hmm.
But you tell Soru what happened at the tea place and that you're just happy that your friends realize that Soru's husband material, and then Soru kind of just starts dragging you off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he starts dragging you off because you're like, I just love you, and I just wanted them to know that you're a great person, that I love you, and that you're just this awesome dude. And this is where Isaac starts getting pouty. He's like, you're stealing his best friend. Y'all just went on a date yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Otis starts crying about it too. Otis being whiny too. He's like, but you were supposed to hang out with us. We were supposed to be having fun today. And I'm like, y'all are in a casino.
They're so dramatic. They're such spoiled little rich kids.
Baba's over here comforting them and trying to convince them to let you guys leave. And then, after they finally convinced by Baba, they're just, watching you with smiley faces, amused by this whole situation. Even though 5 seconds ago, they were just about to have, a whole tantrum.
Wow.
Man devours you. Lovingly, of course.
We love that.
He's just so happy to hear you call him kind and cute and just, say he's the best guy ever. He also tells you that he's okay with leaving the guys because he just wanted to be with you. Animals have always loved Soru, and he also admits to hearing you defend him to your friends.
Aww.
And it made him really happy because that was the first time it has ever happened. Yeah. Soru's over here just pulling at the heartstrings.
He really is. I want to get down on one knee for this man.
And then Ryosuke starts banging on the door.
Why?
Yeah. Soru was planning to ignore it, but then Ryosuke's like, I'm gonna keep banging on the door until you answer.
He's like a 4-year-old.
So Sora goes to the door to go see what this man wants. He just wanted to tell Sora that the new members are joining. Yeah.
That's what he interrupted that for?
He just wanted to tell Sora that new members are joining, and then he gets to train them. And Sora was like, I already knew that. And then slams the door on his face.
Go Sora.
Yeah, he slams the door while Ryosuke's still talking.
Man was determined.
And then he takes you back to the bedroom and he's like, no one's interrupting us today for the rest of the day.
The rest of the day?
Yes, and that's how it ends.
100 out of 10 recommend. This is phenomenal. Really amazing. I recommend this to my whole family. This is something people need in their life.
That man loves you like no other.
Literally puts everyone else to shame. Anyone who ever exists.
Because you're just sitting here reading Ota's story and then you're just here, and then you get to Sora's and you're like, why?
Literally.
Like, you're concerned, because like in Ota's story, you're concerned if Ota actually loves you, and then a sequel, you're concerned if you love Ota. Sora's story, you're just like, you love Sora, Sora loves you. It's an actual love.
It is, and it's like pure and sweet, and it's amazing.
Yeah, I think Ota's the only one where like he sleeps with you before the end of the story.
Okay.
Which, I mean, I guess it lines up with his age too.
Yeah, he's a horny bastard.
Because he's the only one that's 24. Everybody else is like 28, 29, 32, 35.
That makes sense.
But then at the same time, I'm like, why is your... Well, I guess it makes sense. Like, when you sit here and you're like, Ota's story is very low bar compared to everybody else. Because everybody else is about to be in their 30s or are either in their 30s. It's such a huge gap.
It really is.
They should have just made Ota older.
Like closer to Baba's age.
If they were gonna make him the youngest, I would have said 27, just so he's like a year younger than Soryu, who's the second youngest.
Yeah.
But at the same time, just you're like, yeah, he's just like super far in age compared to everybody else in mindset wise. And then like it kind of shows through his story.
Yeah, it definitely shows through his story.
Especially, actually, I just realized that we're going like almost in order from like age. Unfortunately, Baba's gonna break that.
That's okay.
Because we're gonna do Baba and then Mamoru.
Okay. And then I'm guessing Izuku after Mamoru?
Isaac's next. Isaac, Baba, and then Mamoru.
Okay, my bad.
Because that's the order I read them in the first time. But I reread Isaac's story and Sora's story all the time.
I understand Sora.
Yeah, I love that man.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
He's so great.
He really is. He's the best.
So much work and effort. That man almost died for you multiple times.
Literally. He was willing to throw away his life at the drop of a dime if he couldn't be with you. I am here for that.
And the fact that Mei Ling was like, I could never love that man.
Like, girl, what? You see how hard he loves? What do you mean?
Like, that man was about to marry you, and you said no?
Literally, like, how?
Like, I would have been the one proposing.
Literally, I'd be down on one knee already.
But at the same time, I'm poor. My standards are pretty low for real people. And this is not 20, anymore.
You're right. That makes sense.
Yeah. I casually always forget that they all live together in the penthouse.
It's kind of like they just coexist.
I mean, they're always in the lounge anyway, so I'm just here like, I just gotta forget y'all all live there. Y'all are just always in the lounge, like, do y'all go places?
No, they just despawn.
The funny thing is, I know they go places, it's just, it feels like they don't ever go places, except the lounge.
They're always there.
You always come back into the lounge and then they're there. Always have something to say. One thing they won't do is ever shut up.
True.
Especially Isaac. Isaac always has to give his 2 cents.
He's too sassy and egotistical.
Yeah, that man never shuts up. He always has something to say. And I'm just here like, shut up, please.
You had to add the plea. We're too poor to be able to actually tell him to shut up.
In my head, I'm telling you to shut up. But outside, I'm like, do you need me to clean that chair?
Do you want me to reupholster it as well while I'm cleaning it?
I mean, like, I find it so weird that she hates that they always call her out of, like, work. And I'm like, only you.
Literally only her.
Because, I mean, like, you don't work for real.
Exactly.
Like, the one where she's mad at Ota for, like, him not taking her job seriously. I'm like, you're a maid.
And
you're cleaning up.
And he's a rich artist. A rich and famous artist. Of course he's not going to take your job seriously.
Exactly. And I don't understand why you tried to force him to make him understand, but that's something you wanted to do.
It's dumb, but that's nothing.
Super dumb. And then, like, with Soryu understands you have a job, and he's considerate, but at the same time, I don't want him to be considerate.
Literally. Like, boss me around.
The funny thing is, Soryu's not the one who casually calls you out of work.
Yeah. In his own line. It was like Baba and Aizu.
Exactly. Like, the people who call you out of work are Isaac, and you still have, like, this need to be like, oh my god, I need to prove that I'm a good worker. I'm like, do you not realize who's calling you out of work?
The owner of the hotel. Like, girl.
The owner of the hotel is the one calling you out of work, telling you to do stuff. And half the time, he's calling you out of work to fulfill his own little fun, amusement. Like when he wanted you to put on the dress. Well, he didn't want you to put on the dress, but...
When he went and bought you a dress. Oh, well, yeah. When he bet against you with the dress.
Yeah, he literally called you out of work so he could win a bet. But you're like, I need to prove my worth. No, you're a little play toy.
Literally.
The funny thing is, at the beginning, everybody was calling you a toy in Sorya's story. I just kind of left that part out because I was like, doesn't really concern me.
That makes sense.
I'm like, I don't care if I'm called a toy by 5 rich men. Like, I'm poor.
Literally.
I'm poor and I work for one of the rich men within the 5 rich men. So, of course, they're going to see me as a toy to mess with. They literally own me because I need a house, a livable wage, and food. And he provides me with housing. Even if I'm not staying in the print house, Isaac provides me with housing.
Because of the dorm.
The fact that never actually comes up, the fact that Isaac literally provides you with housing.
Provides
just have to
most of his workers with housing.
Yeah, he provides you with housing, and then he also provides your paycheck.
Like, man could cut a huge thing out of your paycheck for that, but he doesn't. At least
it never concerns you for some reason.
Sure as hell concerned me.
Like, if I knew that, like, one of the dudes that who owns my paycheck is, like, at first I'd be concerned if he was, like, taking money out of my paycheck to pay for these, like, expensive trips. That would have been my first concern because I'm like, who's paying for this trip? Who's paying for me to go to Dubai?
Literally.
Who's paying for me to go to Hong Kong? You were so adamant about taking me to Hong Kong with you. Who's paying?
Yeah, because I don't got that money to cover my side of the trip.
But knowing Isaac would be like, you're too poor to pay me back for this. Just take it. You're too poor. And then you have to cry yourself to sleep because, you know, Isaac's calling you poor again. The fact that that's an insult to Isaac.
It is, but I don't think he'd take it as an insult.
Yeah, your main character would not take it as an insult. I mean, I would take it as like, hey, give me money since you're so rich.
Since it's such a problem to you that I'm poor, make me not poor.
Since I'm poor, buy me this jewelry. Buy me this necklace. I'm pretty sure Isaac buys you an island.
An island?
Yeah. If I remember correctly, he buys you an island. Even if he didn't, he would. He's a type.
He definitely is.
Yeah, like, all those men, they're too rich.
For their own good and for everybody else's good.
It makes me so upset seeing men that rich and then me over here getting by with my $11 an hour. Not even that, $10 an hour.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Is that minimum wage?
Huh?
For real. Find a rich man, just sit there, do nothing all day.
Like, if you can't buy me an island, if you can't go window shopping with me and then offer to buy me everything I say is cute or nice, I don't want it.
Exactly. That's like minimum, like bare minimum. That's what I'll accept. If you're not doing that as the bare minimum, there's a problem.
Soryu set the bar.
He really did.
No, I will not take anything less than what Soryu gives me.
If you cannot be, just leave. Just stop existing.
For everybody who's not Soryu, which is everybody in real life.
Literally.
Even the guys in the game, they're just for them.
Yeah. If we just replace them all with different types of Soryus, I'm here for it.
The funny thing is, you rejected Ota and Baba in the same game, in the same story.
Dang.
And then Isaac was over here trying to make passes at you. And you're like, but Soryu though.
Whoop, whoop.
We love that. But that is all for today. Because we are going into 3 hours. Oh my god, that's going to be a lot of cutting.
Yeah, I feel bad for you.
But it's all for Soryu, so it's fine.
Yeah, it's all for Soryu. We just gotta remind ourselves that. It's all for Soryu.
When you have the best story out of, like, the 2 that we had so far, which one last 2 was just Ota. Soryu's gonna win. Yeah. It's gonna take longer.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it for today. That's the end of the recording.
Yay!